Welcome to Wrestling Talk. This episode is going to be something of how I would book WrestleMania 41, because there's a specific plan I have for it. So if you haven't seen the last video, if you haven't seen the last video, I highly suggest watching it. But yeah, anyway, here's how this will work. There's 2 nights and each match will have 7, but I'm going to tell you how I will personally book it. First, I'm going to explain the storylines. I'm going to touch main event first, and the main event to the first match. The first thing I want to say is that I think this WrestleMania should have stipulations. Every match have a stipulation match, just to make it more interesting, and have a stipulation or a different match type. So let's go. So yeah, let's begin with Everyone Loves It, the main event of night 2. We're going to start with night 2. WrestleMania night 2 main event will be CM Punk, John Cena, and The Rock, and Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. It will be a fatal 4-way. And the reason why I'm doing this, let me explain. At Elimination Chamber, everything is going to happen the same as... I think that maybe in this scenario, I would make John Cena win. But before that, Cody denies being The Rock's champion, and The Rock's like, I'm entering myself in that WrestleMania match, because if you ain't going to be my champion, I'm going to be the champion. And eventually, John Cena ends up winning the Elimination Chamber match that night. And believe it or not, guess what's going to happen? CM Punk asked for his favor for Paul Heyman, and Paul takes his way into the main event. Just so we can give CM Punk his main event, you get to see another John Cena versus CM Punk match at WrestleMania. You get to see, and arguably, a match that should have had. You get to see another CM Punk and Rock match. You get to see another Cena and Rock match, and you get to see Cody Rhodes versus all of them. So ultimately, it would be good. The next match, the second match of the night, will be, here's how I would book it: Sheamus versus Braun Breaker, and a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Here's how this will go for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker is going to win. No, Braun Breaker is going to go on a winning streak from, let's say, all of March to WrestleMania, and he will defend his title every week. But the last week before, a few weeks, Sheamus wins a number 1 contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. And the whole storyline going into this is that there's also a stipulation to this one: title versus career. Sheamus puts his career up on the line against Braun Breaker. And in this scenario, Sheamus will ultimately beat Braun Breaker at WrestleMania to keep his career. Number 3. This match will be quite personal, in my opinion. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens inside Hell in a Cell. This will be a very personal back and forth battle, because they hate each other now. And why not? I was like, why not put it in Hell in a Cell? Because that's what it needs. It needs blood. It needs... And I feel like that could be a very special occasion. Okay. And the whole feud going into this is what happened over the past couple of weeks. And the reason why we're doing this is to honor 41 years of WrestleMania. And I think there should be something special about each match. The next match will be for the WWE Tag Team titles, the War Raiders versus the War Raider versus the Creed brothers in a tag team steel cage match where to win, both teams have to escape. Now this will just be to give the Creed brothers a match, but there will be like a little mini feud going into it. The next match will be for the WWE Women's World Championship. It will be Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair in a strap match. The ones where you have to touch all four corners of the ring. This will be personal. I feel like they're going to go here. In my universe, Bianca Belair wins Elimination Chamber. And Bianca will lose this match only because Jade Cargill helps to win. And you still get Rhea Ripley as champion. The next match is arguably one of the better ones, and it's going to be the Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria. This is just to get it on the card. It would just be a normal match between Lyra Valkyria and... No, it's going to be just a normal match. Lyra Valkyria versus Io Sky. Just to get them both on the card. There will be no real story going into it, but just to get them on the card and for her to defend the title. Number 7 will be Damian Priest and Logan Paul in a fight pit match. Because both of them have like a boxing history, and putting them in the fight cage seems like it would be good to see what Logan Paul could do in that sort of match, just to give him something to do. And the whole storyline going to be in this is like, hey, I'm stronger than you, because we're going to start this at Elimination Chamber with Damian Priest getting upset, Logan Paul costing Damian Priest the match. And they're gonna have one or two matches before then, and then they're gonna be tied in victories, and they decide to settle it in the fight pit to see who is ultimately the best fighter instead of wrestler of all time in the WWE. So that's night 1. Let's get to night 2. Night 2. Night 1. Okay, we did night 2. This is night 1. Night 1 is going to start off with not Damian Priest, Gunther versus Jey Uso in a I Quit match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And this will main event WrestleMania. The next match will be Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton in a hair versus hair match. This one has a stipulation because I think there's a theme here. I just think it would be cool for the WWE Women's Championship, and just because it would be cool to to see what would happen. Putting the hair on the line would make it ultimately more interesting, also for the title. The next match will be a fatal 4-way TLC match for the WWE World Tag Team Championships. Diddy, DIY, the Street Profits, Murder Machine Guns, and Pretty Deadly in a match to see who going to be the new tag team champions in the TLC match. Just to, just to have another iconic match at WrestleMania, potentially, that aren't just, because I feel like Edge is very much remembered for TLC. Okay. The next, these storylines, you already know what's going into them. Okay. The next match will be for the WWE Women's United States Championship, and it will be Chelsea Green versus Piper Niven in a I tried to think of something cool here. I feel like we're going to be like, Piper Niven makes fun of her. Chelsea Green makes fun of Piper Niven leading to this match and calling her dead weight, basically. And Piper Niven also realizes this way before then, but she's just waiting for Chelsea Green to make the move and betray her and say stuff about her. What's ultimately going to happen, though, is that to make fun of Chelsea Green, this match will be called, it's a pink steel cage. A pink steel cage, where the only way to win is by pinfall or submission inside the ring. You can't escape, but there will be weapons like beauty accessories and stuff, and also like scissors where you could cut your hair, where she's going to try to cut her hair, and that's going to be, eventually it's just going to be a good match, though, because there's also going to be real weapons colored pink, just because that's Chelsea Green's gimmick, basically. She's just like the pretty girl, The next match will be for the United States Championship, and it will be Chelsea, and now it will be Shinsuke Nakamura. I think someone who really deserves it in this timeline will be versus, hear me out on this one, versus Jimmy Uso in the tables match. Hear me out. This could be good if they let it be. The whole thing is that it's just going to be a gimmick there to be a gimmick. The next match will be I feel like this will be very personal. AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Why not? Let's make it a submission match. It will be a submission match. The whole goal of this is that AJ Styles makes him submit, and Finn Balor thinks that he could do the same to AJ Styles. The last match is going to be a normal match between I feel like this is going to happen at some point, but Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, because they don't need like a big match, and that's going to open up the show, because they want to start this as big as possible, just to get the whole night, just to get the standards set up for the whole night in a normal match. And that's how I will book WrestleMania 41. Goodbye.